All right, it seems to be a topic right now, so let's talk about it. So for me, sex is what you come out biologically, so male, female, or intersexed, and gender is what you are up here in your mind, so male, female, non-binary, and all those other things. One is physical, one is psychological. Personally, I don't give a fuck what you identify as. I don't care if you identify as a chair. I don't care. Be a chair. I don't care if you're in my bathroom. I don't care if you're in my locker room. I really don't care. I'm going in there to piss or shit or change my pad or whatever. So I don't give a fuck. As for trans people in sports, why are the sports separated anyway? Y'all the ones that said that the sexes are the same. Anything you can do, I can do better. So why do we have male and female sports? Throw them all together. Period. Male and female prisons, throw them all together. I mean, that's what y'all wanted, right? Equality. I mean, I only want equal rights when it's convenient for me. I want you to open my door, but I am never going to be a construction worker or want to be drafted to the front lines of battle. No, thank you. Do I think it's odd that Jeffrey did a tampon commercial? Yeah, I think that's kind of odd. Am I going to have a hissy fit about it? No. It's not that big of a deal. It's just one ad. Pronouns. Okay. Not going to introduce myself with my pronouns. That's just a bit personal. And I find it to be kind of weird. If I know you personally or I'm going to be interacting with you at work or whatever, I will default to whatever, well, to he, she, or they type pronouns. I'm not going to do neo-pronouns. You're not going to make me do neo-pronouns because that's my freedom of speech, and you don't get to dictate that. So you can throw neo-pronouns out the window. That's just, you get equal rights, not special rights. Like you doing too much, you know what I mean? Addressing pronouns, gender, or sex of any kind in elementary school is an absolutely not. Stop. Let them kids be kids. Stop that right now. I would raise my kid using the pronouns he or she until later. If they find something different and they bring it up to me, fine. That's fine. But that is way too young. Let them kids be kids and stop with that shit. God, get on my nerves, okay? Teach them their shapes and their colors and their 1, 2, 3s and their ABCs. And stop there. If you're a teacher, write what you would up on the board. Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so. Or just your name or whatever. Do not complicate their little minds with gender. Okay? Just leave it. Because when I raised my kid, I didn't dictate boy toys, girl toys, none of that. Let them get whatever they want. It's not your place as a teacher to teach my kid gender. Don't want them taught that till way, way later. Because there's a lot more to explain. And that's not your place as a teacher. Knock that off right now. Knock it off. And as for a trans child, especially a trans adult like a teacher, if someone using the wrong pronoun upsets you that much, you're basing your entire identity off of what somebody calls you. There is a problem there. What your gender is what you know it is. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks it is. So being that emotionally offended over pronouns is just that is a problem. Okay, you don't need other people to validate who you are as a person. Period. You know who you are as a person. That's all you need to know. Stop getting so offended over a fucking pronoun. I mean, if it's obvious that someone is intentionally calling you the wrong pronoun on purpose, I can see you getting upset over that. Anything else, you need, stop it. Stop it. Do I care about trans women being in women's spaces like feminism and all that? I don't care. Go ahead. Now I want to talk about more of the other lingo that likes to be thrown around. Pregnant persons. No. No. Why no? Because for me, mother does not dictate a specific sex. Mother is any person that unconditionally loves their children and forgoes their own wants and needs for that of the child. Jaded's father was absent, so I was the mother and the father. So you shouldn't get offended when people say pregnant mothers. You're the one queuing it in on being of specific sex, not us. Chest feeding, absolutely not. It is breastfeeding. Why? Because breast is an organ. Okay? You're breastfeeding. If you have mammary glands, that is part of the organ called a breast. Gender affirming treatment, medical treatment, absolutely not. Though both hormonal and any surgical interference has irreversible changes. Irreversible changes. Okay? So not only is it very unwise to do because there's a lot of trans trenders, but it is damaging. Absolutely not. I'll do the binders, the haircuts, the aesthetic 100%. I got you. But hormones and surgical things, absolutely not. That's even against the Hippocratic Oath. I don't even know how they're doing it now. It's absolutely wrong. And a lot of people are like, well, some kids commit suicide if they don't get it done. Kids commit suicides for all kinds of reasons. That's not a reason to alter them permanently, physiologically. It's not a reason. Address the problem psychologically with mental health methods. You don't go put them on hormones or adjust their physical bodies with permanent changes. No. Once you're 18, I will go with you to the doctor or the surgeon. No problem. But not a minute before then. And I don't really think 18 is old enough to know to do a permanent change, but that is the way it is. Hormone blockers either. No. Same thing. And now I'm going to tell you how we looked at this back in the 90s. And I'm hoping that this train of thought comes back because all these labels are just unnecessary and uncalled for. So, man and woman, male and female, was always on a scale, right? The same way y'all give scales for autism. It's on a spectrum, okay? So you would have uber masculine men here and go all the way down the line to just all the different types of male human beings, biological male human beings, all the way over here to what is now today would be called a trans woman, okay? That was a spectrum. Same thing with females. You had uber girly girls, that damsel in distress, all the way going the full spectrum of all the different types of women until you got all the way over here with what today you would refer to as trans men. Trans men. I cut myself off early. In my opinion, that's the spectrum that needs to be taught to people. It was always more acceptable for the female side. If you were a tomboy, that's fine. It really needs to be pushed and explained on the male side because due to Christianity and Islam, men were not, it was normal. Men were not afraid to have intimate touch, or there's this whole space for men where they handle each other, and it's a healthy space. And that needs to be explained way, way more. It's not, those religions made it very taboo to do those things, and it took away this huge part of the male psyche. It just stole it away, and it's awful that it was taken away. Another side effect of it being taken away is homophobia. If it was taught that this is how things always were, you wouldn't have the homophobia you have today. I mean, what do you think those Roman soldiers did the whole years and years that they were away from home? What do you think all those fellows on ships did when they're years and years away from home? What do you think they do in prison? So the teaching of that spectrum needs to be brought back in, because that's why all these people are feeling excluded. But in Western society, that the male spectrum really needs to be brought back in, because it's tragic. So I think that's it for my views on trans. If you think of another question I haven't answered, just write it in the comments.